So far, we have looked at various requirements for a change in the language curriculum framework, or change about methodologies or textbooks. But the question arises, can we bring about the change straightforward, or are there some steps or there are some strategies which we can use to better bring in the change? So that's what we're gonna discuss now, how we can use a range of strategies in order to ensure that the change is accepted by its users, right? There are, various approaches, but I will just briefly go through some of the major ones. One of the approaches or strategies is, for example, power coercive model. So it's sort of the change coming from the main authority, where the rules are designed and people have to accept the change. So, for example, if we want the people to get rid of smoking habit, would we educate them, or would we just introduce some laws? So introduction of laws of banning smoking is a power coercive, where you just force the people to give up this habit, right? Rational empirical, where a rational approach is undertaken in order to justify every nitty and gritty behind the change, why we need a change, the justification, the reasons, right? Another one is normative re-educative, where a proper negotiation is carried out between its users. So, for example, normative re-educative is, for example, if the ministry wants to introduce a new curriculum, so what they could do, they could invite, educators, teachers, professionals, language teachers from different parts of the provinces or throughout the country, and collect their views, how they will perceive the change. So it's through negotiation, through discussion, that actually change takes place. So that's another good strategy. What's important to be understood in the context of these strategies, that each strategy shouldn't be seen as a separate thing. Rather, we should take a collective, holistic approach and take into account the benefits of each approach as supporting the other approaches, right? So a change can be implemented in a better way if it's got, for example, support from the government. So again, the example of our national language curriculum. So in 2006, we've got support from the government, and that's why that could be one of the reasons that teachers accepted a new curriculum, although some of them might be resisting then, or still might be resisting it, and might still be using grammar translation methods. So that's how we need to take into account how people view the change, right? So another strategy, good strategy, which I view very efficient one, is the maintenance of good communication between the language planners, between the government, language teachers, and learners. So what will be the result of this, outcome of this communication? There will be a sense of, cooperation and responsibility between various stakeholders. So people will feel empowered rather than feel disempowered. So there are a range of strategies out there, and which we can use to bring about a change in the language curriculum design.